All right, well, welcome everyone to another I-CCEW final presentation. Yeah, there we go. Terrific. Thank you all for coming here and for all of you on the live stream as well, supporting our students, friends and family, clients, supporters of the program. I really appreciate your participation and support of all the students and the work that they've done over the semester. This has been a terrific semester. And I think it was underscored by basically receiving the ultimate validation of our model recently. We had a company that we have never worked with, never really talked to, but had worked with one of our alumni and reached out and said, we want talent like her. Where do we go? And of course, come to I-CCEW. And it was great validation of our model because one of the things that makes us unique and distinctive in the world of, I think in higher education as a whole, is the career path that we offer. About 40 to 50% of our students stick around for multiple experiences. And as a result, they gain pattern recognition, confidence, more experiences in problem solving and people leadership that really sets them apart in their future career. And it's that kind of experience that really sets you apart in your future. And so I think it's a distinctive part of our program and shows up when our alumni go out into the workforce and people demand more talent like them. And it also is why we have such great repetition in our semesters, great quality in our semesters. In this semester in particular, we had 5 fellows. Let me make sure I get them all. Ashlyn, Caitlin, Madison, Peyton, did I get them all? Abdulamed. Terrific fellows, and they should get a round of applause for their efforts this semester. Across those 5, about 11 years of I-CCEW experience, dozens of projects across pretty much every industry, and it was that kind of experience that led to such a great execution of our semester. I think it was also underscored, our model was also underscored this weekend, or just prior to the Alabama game, actually. It was at the Noun Hotel. We had a half-day session for job creators in Cleveland County and Norman, Oklahoma. We had the Lieutenant Governor come speak. There was presentations by CEOs of community banks, and presentations by CEOs of the companies that have recently been invested in by Boyd Street Ventures. And in the audience, I-CCEW alumni who were active investors and leading job creators in our community. On stage, I-CCEW alumni leading companies and being part of the ecosystem. And throughout the discussions, it was a common theme. We got prepared for this because of I-CCEW. So I think from a model perspective, we're achieving the goal, which is preparing some of our best talent here at U to be successful in their future careers and making a huge difference in the entrepreneurial and business ecosystems and investment ecosystems of Oklahoma. Additionally, this semester, we also did a terrific mine cohort in Tulsa. We had 6 nonprofits run through a very similar process to what our teams do here, and recently presented at the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and they had just glowing things to say about the program and made huge advances in what they were working on and launching of their nonprofits. So we've had a ton of impact in the ecosystem, in the talent development, and in the nonprofit and social enterprise work of Oklahoma. So enough about I-CCEW. You are here to hear presentations from students who've been working all semester on behalf of clients all over the world. So let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're excited to see the work the teams have been doing this semester. And APD has been chosen to go first because we're the coolest. Before I bring out my team, I just want to say a few words that kind of encapsulate the semester and thank the people that made this thing happen. First, I want to thank our client, Biolytx, Paul Barron, thank you for giving us an opportunity to work with you this semester and develop a product that will help so many people to tackle water insecurity around the world. I wish you all the best. Secondly, I want to thank the staff, Jeff, Cassandra. Your minds always amaze me, inspire me to be a better leader by always showing that beacon of light in the dark. Our fellows, Caitlin, Ashlyn, Madison, Abdul Ahmed, Peyton. I had the most work with Caitlin, Ashlyn, and Peyton this semester, the three musketeers, especially Peyton. Thank you for always being there to help and being so humble and selfless while doing that. This semester has been a long ride, and I had a chance to work with three great interns, Nico, Jason, and Baylor. And you can imagine, it wasn't that special. Like every other APD team, 4 engineers walk into a room. Oh yeah, but this time, there were not 4 engineers, and that was so fun to navigate. The 3 psycho killers. Baylor, Norman's next 40 under 40. Well, for the team, he was always 100 above 100%, being so diligent and making sure he contributes his values for the success of the team, and I thank him for that. Nico, even all of his 40 names cannot encapsulate how much energy he brought to the team this semester, always being a visionary and pushing us to see how much we can help Deploytech and the world with this product. And lastly, Jason, our design wizard. All designing kind of fell on him this semester, and he took it like a champ and was always super precise and had a smile doing it. And thank you. Here's APD.
Good morning, everyone. How everyone's doing? We are the Agile product design team. The team is conformed by Jason Meshili, Baylor Savage, and myself, Nicolas Cordova. Our fellow is Pedro Nilis, and our team leader, Maro Sovko. I want to start with this fact. Did you know that in the United States, 43 million people experience inadequate water systems? 2.2 million people even lack basic indoor plumbing. These numbers tell us that water insecurity happens everywhere around the world. That is why Deploytech aimed to tap this issue by introducing rapid deployable water tanks, bringing clean water solutions to households in the United States and the world. Deploytech is a Wales-based company, and they focus on the production of water storage solutions for different purposes, such as disaster relief scenarios or water shortages. Now, they're looking into expanding into a new market. After an extensive research, our team has come up with that the household market is the best market that Deploy can tap into, and it also aligns with its manufacturing capabilities. Today, we are here to show you our findings. We have designed a new lead for Deploy's new water tanks, the Omni series, and we have also benchmarked Deploy with key competitors to be best informed with our business strategy.
Deploytech is a Wales-based company that aims to provide water storage solutions to an international market. As Nico said, they are most well-known for their work in potable water storage and disaster relief situations. In Ecuador, Deploytech has 2 different sites set up in extremely rural communities. These water tanks are the first drinking water systems either of these villages have ever seen. In early 2024, Turkey was devastated by earthquakes that left many of its residents without necessities, including water. Deploytech saw this and immediately donated 3 of their tanks to the cause. This caught on quickly, and through work with both NGOs and the Turkish central government, they were able to set up 13 disaster relief sites throughout the nation. This has all been done with the 14R series tank, the flagship product of Deploytech. These tanks are flat-packed when shipped, inflated with air, and hydrated before finally becoming solid. The new line of Omni series tanks will lead to new opportunities and new markets.
The Omni series will require a new. The Omni series will serve a new market and require a new lead design that will be both structurally stable and allow easy access to the tank. At the beginning of this project, the team, in alliance with the client, identified 2 main challenges that Deploytech is facing right now. The first challenge was having a new lid. This was a challenge because in the old design, there were rods that were running along the walls of the tank, supporting the wall of the tank, giving it its structure, and also acting as a mounting place for the lid. However, this is not the same case for the Omni series. And so the team have worked throughout the semester to come up with a way to support the lead, to come up with a lead design that will go with our support, as well as the cover material that will go together to complete the lead and the tank overall. The second challenge that the team identified is the need for a new market. The idea behind the Omni series is affordability, and with that come opportunity to other kind of markets. And so the team have looked into this specific market through 3 criteria. That is the ease of entry, the size and the demand for that market, and also the size compatibilities. It's important to mention here that the Omni series, unlike the 14R series, is going to come in multiple sizes, ranging from 1,000 liters all the way to 30,000 liters. With that, we need a market that requires such a range of tank. Moving on, the cost-effective lead will be structurally stable, allowing us to tap into the household market. As my colleague Nicholas said, after countless research and a number of interviews, we concluded that the household market in the United States will be the perfect market for Deploytech to introduce their Omni series tank. And for that conclusion, we had a lot of reasons. But the 3 main reasons that we come to that conclusion is that in an interview that we conducted with Oakville Pump Service representative, they say most common with residents, pump runs out of water, or they sometimes just don't have enough water, and they will require tanks to offset that. This is where we think Deploytech will come and provide their tank, their Omni series, as a backup system for residents who falls in that criteria. The second reason is that the household market in the United States alone is about $5.5 billion. This is the perfect size for Deploytech to introduce their Omni series. The last reason is that with the household market, they require tanks ranging from 500 liters all the way to 20,000 liters, with 20,000 liter be the most common among households with 4 to 5 people. And with the household market in mind, the team have come up with a design, a lead skeleton design that will go well with its own support system and also keeping in mind the need of household users. As you can see from the presentation, that's this 3D model of the lead that we came up with attached to the tank. With that, there's 2 support systems, as well as there's rods that are running through it. A little bit about the design. This design will be simple, utilizing the materials and the manufacturing capability of Deploytech. As you can see from the screen, this is the full skeleton assembly of the design. The design will be made of 3 components: the elbow connector, the metal pocket, and the fiberglass pole. Together, they will make the full skeleton assembly. There are 3 features that makes this lead design important for the Omni series and for the household market. First, it's easy to disassemble and assemble. As you can see, it's made of main 3 parts that can be detached and attached together. This is important because if the user want to access the tank to clean or to maintain the water or just the tank in itself, they will need an easy way to have entrance. And with that, they can easily remove 1 or 2 of the rods and gain full access to the rod. The second feature that makes this lead design so important is that it can be flat packed along with the entire tank. As my colleague Bella mentioned, that the tank can be flat packed, and we want our lead to be able to be compatible with that feature. And so the fact that it can be disassembled is really important there. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, this lead design utilizes the materials and the manufacturing capability that Deploytech already have. With the 14R being the initial series that Deploy produced, we utilize the same materials that they are using. That is the elbow connector and the fiberglass pole. These are the 2 components that are already in stock with Deploytech for use of 14R, but now we're using it for the Omni series.
Deploy's expansion will lead to an increase in 3.6 million potential end users. The team chose the perfect end user based on a set of characteristics, then quantified that with research and survey results. First, Deploytech should target homeowners in America. Those homeowners need to use well water as their main source of water, and more specifically, that well water needs to have a stressor put on it at some point throughout the year. This could be something as simple as having friends or family stay over for a long weekend or a holiday. That might not seem like much of a stressor. However, the increased usage in shower, bathroom, and kitchen water can actually lead these ordinary well pumps to be overworked and forced to be shut down for a period of time before they are functional again. During that time, DeployTech's stored water will come in and act as a substitute in the house, so the end user is never without water. DeployTech has a firm commitment to sustainability and should target those who share this value and consider themselves environmentally conscious. All in all, this is about 3.6 million end users in America alone.
One of the great qualities of Deploy is that it only charges 1/3 than the rest of the competitors. Deploy wants to achieve a substantial presence in the household water tank market. So that's why we have benchmarked with other companies who have already achieved this status, such as DNA Tanks, Glacier Precast Concrete, and Rain Brothers. However, these other competitors, they take a lot of time, infrastructure, and money to install their tanks. In some cases, they need to prepare the site, they need to assemble the tank, they put a layer of gravel in the floor, and then they have a process of backfilling. This is a really long process, and some of them even require cranes to transport their tanks from one place to the other. That is why DeployTech stands out because of its easy transportation and rapid installation. When we think of other competitors for water storage solutions, we might think of plastic storage tanks. Well, this is not a sustainable option, and a lot of states are putting regulations against the use of plastic. Also, plastic is not the best container for drinkable water purposes. So that's why Deploy is a reliable option for households in the United States.
DeployTech should employ both direct sales and distributors to cast the widest net in their new market. DeployTech gathers materials from several different suppliers. This includes geomembrane, the fiberglass rods that create the structure of the tank, and of course, the concrete canvas material, which is the exterior of the tank. DeployTech has a fantastic relationship with the concrete canvas providers, meaning they're able to get the material at a very competitive price. From this point, DeployTech takes all the materials and actually assembles the tanks themselves on site. Direct sales are a great way to enhance relationships with customers directly, as well as improve brand image and brand name. However, distributors are going to be the real key to this new market. Over 80% of Americans do basic online research before buying any unfamiliar and unknown product. Having DeployTech's product in these catalogs and inventories of these large distributors, which will be the first results from any of these basic searches, will lead to more eyes on the product and ultimately more sales. Many of these distributors buy the product directly from the suppliers, meaning Deploy's revenue will not be affected by either method of sales.
DeployTech is expected to earn $1.8 million in profit across the next 5 years, with $2.9 million in revenues and $1.1 million in costs. These financial projections are making some assumptions. The first one is that our best-selling tank is going to be the 20,000 liter water tank. Deploy has the capacity of producing 250 of these tanks per year. Each one of these tanks is going to cost $593 to produce, and that includes raw materials, labor, and also the assembly costs. Each of these tanks is going to cost $1,864, and 90% of our sales are expected to be through distributors, with 10% of these sales being direct sales. That means from Deploy's website. 6% of our annual revenue is going to be invested towards marketing costs. For the next steps, Deploy should test the lead we have designed, also should create new partnerships with new distributors, and tailor marketing. For the first and second month, Deploy should test the lead we have designed and put it through different security screening processes to make sure the resistance, endurance, and the quality is what they are expecting. And then for the third and fourth month, they should explore new partnerships with distributors, especially the ones who align with the company's main values. And finally, they should target new customers. Since we have found a new market for Deploy, that means there is new end users. So Deploy has to address their marketing strategies towards homeowners. Thank you, and the room is open for questions.
All right, so thank you for the question. Your question was, how are we addressing corrosion? When it comes to that, we thought of that as we're designing the lid, and that is why most of the components that we're using, they would not undergo any kind of rusting or corrosion. However, the multi-pocket that I mentioned earlier, there is a chance for corrosion. And for that, we're going to attach it to the tank and cover it with a layer of geomembrane. So it's not going to be directly in contact with the water. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. All right, thank you for the question. You're asking what is the tank made of? The tank, as my teammate mentioned, is made of concrete canvas. It's just a mix of 3D fabric matrix mixed in with concrete. So it's flexible before solidification, meaning before you spray water on the material, it's flexible. It will be like a carpet. However, once you spray the water and leave it to solidify, it's going to be concrete. And so the feature of being flat packed for the tank, that is where it comes from, the material. Yes?
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. Your question was why we chose to market towards homeowners. So this came through a lot of different research. We chose America specifically because we saw both the need for it and also the ability to actually pay for the tanks there. But we chose homeowners specifically because we really saw a need in the community right now, especially with well water. We talked to different people who are currently homeowners. We also talked to people who are sales representatives for current products like this, and they really said the best way to get in right now is, and the best way that's going to be compatible with us are going to be homeowners who are looking for tanks more for a backup thing in case of emergencies.
Thank you for the question. Your question is, would the lead design affect the cost? When we began this project, the idea was having the lead cost 10% of the overall cost, and that is what we did. And that's why most of the decisions that we made, such as using the same material that they have in stock, was because of that. And so 10% of the overall cost of the tank will be the lead. Thank you. We have time for one more question. Yes.
The question was, what was the biggest challenge for this project? I think since we were working with a company based in Wales, communication was one of them, trying to be on the same time. Also, I think it is such a niche market, and a lot of people do not know what a concrete canvas is. Have you guys heard about concrete canvas before? Because it's very new, it's very niche. So trying to do research for prices, doing research for the materials, there was not a lot out there. So a lot of things had to be our own research, and it had to do with trying to find as much information as possible, and also try to make sure that the information we're finding is as reliable as possible. So I think those were definitely the main challenges.
Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jake. I've had the absolute pleasure of leading our OFA team this semester. Now, our team is a little bit unique from all the other ones that you're going to see this afternoon, in that each of our interns has had the opportunity to work with their own individual client throughout this semester. This means that each of our individuals has not only got to work on the things that they are most strong at, but also the things that they found toughest. And they've got to be part of every single part of the process along the way. Now, of course, this project and all of our projects wouldn't have been possible without the wonderful work from all of our staff. And I specifically want to highlight Ashlyn Darter, our fellow, who's not only been an inspiration and guidance, but also one of our clients at the same time. Now, I don't want to get outside of my wheelhouse too much, but I do work in a planetarium, so I'm certified to say that this next team is out of this world. Let's put our hands together for the OFA team.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for your attention today. My name is Abby Brunert.
I'm Aja Garu. Devin Newman. And my name is Ray Zainuddin.
This semester, I had the privilege of working with Carlisha Bradley, the founder and CEO of Amplify for Women. She does high-performance women's leadership coaching services and is looking to scale her business. In order to assist, I've conducted 12 interviews and have found the best fit LMS or learning management system to assist with her project. The reason for scaling is because she has had an influx in demand over the past few years. Essentially, the scope of my project is a market analysis to see what her target demographic is, as well as a technology scan to see what opportunities exist for scaling, not just now, but for long term. She's looking to scale what is called the Elevate cohort, which is a segment of Amplify for Women. So in understanding the target demographic, it is clear that Amplify for Women should target the approximate 11,000 Black Tulsan women who are seeking career advancement. And this is true for a few reasons. Sorry about that. This is true for a few reasons. And the first one is because the CEO resides in Tulsa, thus her reputation is strongest in this area. In addition to that, Amplify for Women currently targets this demographic, so essentially the next step would just be growing that number. And the third reason is because the Elevate curriculum is specifically crafted to address the challenges that this demographic faces. Sorry about that. So in understanding the wants, needs, and desires of this demographic, it is clear that LearnWorlds is the best LMS for scaling the project. And that is because it is as well joint with the client's vision for the project. The features of the LearnWorlds are highlighted here on the screen in the colorful boxes and further validated by the customer interviews that I have conducted. So in employing LearnWorlds, Amplify for Women can save 108 hours each year, create a funnel to one-on-one coaching, and service more individuals. The current business model can be adapted in a few ways, the first one being to make the application for joining the cohort online. The second adaptation will be to make the actual coaching experience hybrid, so doing pre-recorded videos for the standardized curriculum that is given to each cohort, but then maintaining the live coaching sessions that tailor that content to the specific individuals within each cohort. And then the third adaptation is the pricing model. So currently it is in a lump sum form, but it can be adapted to be a pricing package model. And in doing so, we'll be able to service a greater variety of individuals, as the interviews revealed that the customers have a greater diversity in their financial circumstances. And in addition to that, the client has requested for a funnel to that one-on-one coaching. And so in adding the pricing package model, as well as servicing more clients and hiring a COO, Amplify for Women will be able to earn over $500,000 in profit each year with the Elevate cohort alone. This is true because they will be able to service not just 7 to 10 individuals at a time, but up to 30. And the first year will include the original business model, but then going forward into the years after that will include the adapted business model, where that over $500,000 can be earned. So the first step in the growth plan will be to hire that COO and ensure that the pre-recorded curriculum that is standardized will be solidified and be useful for good going forward. And then after that, purchase LearnWorlds and integrate the pre-recorded videos into that white label system. And from there, launch the hybrid model in January of 2026. Thank you so much, and I will now pass it off to Aja with Biolytx.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm Aja once again. So this semester, I've had the privilege of working with Dr. Pereira and her team in commercializing the drug BP002, which is designed to treat infections caused by Pseudomonas gram-negative in patients with cystic fibrosis. So, what is cystic fibrosis? Well, cystic fibrosis is a genetic mutation that results into a malfunctioning protein channel. Patients with cystic fibrosis have challenges transporting molecules across the lung cells, and due to this, it leads to formation of thick mucus on the surface of the lungs and also provide a very conducive environment for bacterial growth. The leading cause of infections in patients with cystic fibrosis is Pseudomonas gram-negative, and we also have Staphylococcus. Current treatment for cystic fibrosis target two major aspects of the disease. First one targets the symptoms. It improves the lungs function and also treat infections. And secondly, we have modulators. Modulators are basically medications that patients take to improve the function of the malfunctioning protein channel. So, looking into the market for BP002, Biolytx should focus on patients who are not fully served by modulators and who are not fully served by modulators due to complex treatment needs. When we look at the market for BP002, I divided the market into three different sections. As you can see on the screen, we have patients with high intensity needs. These are made of patients who cannot use modulators and also patients who have multi-drug resistance. And secondly, we have medium intensity needs. These are patients who can use modulators, but they require antibiotics to treat infections from time to time. And then lastly, we have low intensity need patients. These are patients who do not have cystic fibrosis, but they acquire Pseudomonas gram-negative infections from healthcare settings. So looking into the financial model for BP002, BP002 can enter the market by 2028 and would make about $375 million in present value during their first 5 years of operation. When we look at the graph, you can see that the major cause of expenditure for Biolytx would be the research and development process of the drug. However, when the drug enters the market, the cost of manufacturing is really negligible to the profit that the company would be making. And that's why you cannot see costs in the first 5 years of BP002 entering the market. So the key takeaway points here is that Biolytx, the cost for manufacturing Biolytx is almost negligible. And secondly, Biolytx should consider collaborating with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and also seek grants to further reduce these costs. So, as a new drug company, Biolytx is faced with the decision to further buy away or sell the ownership of their drug in some stage of their clinical trials. This is because the company is really small and it doesn't have all the financial requirements and even technologies to proceed with this process of manufacturing the drug. So, the best phase, based on research that I've done, considering the risk, time taken, and profit, BP002 it will be better off sold in the second phase of the clinical trial. This would generate about $112 million in profit for Biolytx. So, finally, BP002, in order for Biolytx to gain the IND status in 2 years, they should be able to raise at least $5 million and also do series of tests, which would include in vivo and in vitro, and also submit a pre-IND package to the FDA. This, however, all depends on the availability of funds to support Biolytx in order to go ahead with the process of the drug development. Thank you so much for your attention. Now I'll pass it to Devin.
I feel confident that almost everyone in this room has a young woman in their life that they care about. As we move forward into the digital age, it's important to keep these young women safe. Hello, my name is Devin Newman, and this semester I've had the privilege of working with Ashton and Mike Darter, founders of Operation Halo. Additionally, I have conducted 2 surveys with 45 responses and 11 interviews. What is Operation Halo? Operation Halo is an online women's self-defense and personal safety platform designed by professionals for unique courses. Their mission is simple. They want to help young women navigate the dangers of life with short videos, podcasts, and free resources. I have been tasked to find the answers to these 3 questions. Who is their ideal market and what drives them? Who is the ideal age range and how do we reach them? And find sustainable resources for them to continue growth. With a market size of 16.2 million 18 to 24-year-olds, Operation Halo has the opportunity to expand to the 11 million 13 to 18-year-olds, bringing their total market size to 27.2 million. Why expand younger? 13-year-olds believe that the world is a big, scary place and that they would like help navigating it. Teachers and professionals believe that 13-year-olds are ready to have these conversations. With 12.9% of family households being single moms, single dads, and single legal guardians, they would like help teaching their children safety, independence, and provide responsible role models. And on the other side of the market, we're looking at 44% 18 to 24-year-olds who are looking for ways to develop community as well as work on physical and mental well-being. Now that we've expanded the business model to include parents and minors, it's important to see how that is shown throughout the business model. We're looking at girls. Starting with the girls, they go to their parents and address safety concerns or just interest in Operation Halo. Then the parents have the opportunity to buy memberships for $9 a month or individual courses for $59 for individual courses. Then going to what Operation Halo brings, they have a team of professionals. These professionals include police officers and crisis management experts who then will develop these courses and deliver them to the young girls. Going down to brand recognition with partnerships like Tiger Lady and Damsel in Distress, they work to bring brand recognition and provide sustainable growth moving forward. Lastly, we look at how to reach these parents. Social media is the best way to reach them because 75% of parents with children under the age of 18 use social media regularly. Now, within the next 5 years, Operation Halo has the opportunity to make $1.1 million and 5,000 users from marketing alone. They have a $10,000 marketing budget, which can buy them 1.5 million impressions and 25,000 clicks. These clicks and impressions are then converted into a 700 ad gains, and then a 30% adoption rate after that. Those are the number of people of the 700 who will end up buying memberships from Operation Halo. Additionally, they have additional marketing from other companies, and with their lean expenses and high profit margins, it will potentially give the CEO the option to have a salary and potential feedback, give back programs. Lastly, what are our next steps? Moving forward, Operation Halo should continue to focus on how to run and operate marketing and their outreach strategies. All of these things are very important for the success of Operation Halo. However, since the market was such a big portion of this project, it is important that they continue to use that outreach strategies to continue their success within the next 5 years. I will now pass it off to Raid.
Thank you, Devin. I've had the privilege this semester to work with True Sky Federal Credit Union and help them attract more Gen Z members. Now, why Gen Z? Because they're a massive opportunity in the counties that True Sky operates in. Over 94% of Gen Z remains uncaptured by True Sky. However, when you're looking at getting more Gen Z members, it is a common misconception to look at them as a monolith. That is hardly the case. Therefore, we have broken Gen Z down into 3 segments: teenage, young adult, and adult, each with their own needs and wants, which then refers the products we recommend and the messaging we want to change. So, how have we figured out what their incentives and needs are? We have conducted over 26 interviews across these different age ranges to understand their needs. Now, one thing we have found is that there are 3 main incentives for Gen Z. One of them is financial, the second one is convenience, and the third one is educational. Financial incentives are referrals and sign-on bonuses. Convenience incentives are budgeting systems or an easy-to-use user interface. And educational incentives are seminars or teen accounts with parental oversight. Now, some takeaways from these incentives are that financial incentives are the primary movers for to acquire new Gen Z members. Teenagers and teenage-level Gen Z take a lot of their banking advice from parents still. And lastly, teenage and young adult Gen Z really do want to be educated by their banking institutions. Now, TrueSky can make changes right away to play into these incentives and gain Gen Z members. One of them is easily through messaging. So some messaging changes can be seen across checking, saving, and credit card types. But we'll focus on CDs, which are certificate of deposit savings accounts, which hold your money for a certain period of time and give you a certain amount of return. Now, these CDs give you a guaranteed return on how much money you put in, which is the direct financial incentive for Gen Z to put in money into these CDs and get that guaranteed return out. Now, not only can they change messaging on current products, TrueSky can create new products and tweak existing offerings to further go into the needs that Gen Z have. So some of them are new intake mechanisms through referrals at $75 a person or sign-on bonuses. Others are to maintain Gen Z and maintain retention through high-yield savings accounts or points-to-cash systems through credit card transactions. Now, all these create a new way for Gen Z to come into TrueSky, but also create a way for TrueSky to actually keep and retain those new Gen Z users. Now, what does that mean for costs? Implementing and tweaking these features can reduce costs for TrueSky Credit Union by almost 12%. Now, we have set their customer acquisition cost based on industry averages. By setting in these new changes, they can reduce costs on intake and retention, which then accumulate into a 12% reduction in customer acquisition costs in total. Now, what is the implementation timeline for this? TrueSky can realistically implement these features in under a year. Now, most of these are being done through third-party partnerships. For example, teen accounts being done with Greenlight, which is a third-party organization that specializes in making these type of accounts. Or on-app investing with Copper Financial, which is a partner that TrueSky is already working with. Other changes such as referrals and scholarships are tweaks in messaging and things that already exist, so therefore can be done rather quickly, which is why these solutions can be implemented in just 1 year. That was the OFA team, and now we're open to questions.
Right. So the question was, right now, Amplify for Women's dominant market is the Tulsa area. However, what opportunities exist for expansion? So yes, her target demographic is in Tulsa. However, because it is an online platform, there is ample opportunity to expand. So that number on the screen was 26.2 million women of color who are seeking career advancement in the United States. And so that would be the number there. But yes, there is great opportunity for growth, not just in Tulsa, but the United States as a whole.
My question is for Agia.
Yes, yes.
You said that there needs to be $5 million that needs to be raised in order to get this particular certificate. How does that work in the medical field? How can you raise, because $5 million is a lot of money, so how would you propose to raise that money?
Thank you so much for your question. So the question is, how do we raise $5 million for Biolytx to gain the IND status? Well, Biolytx have a lot of options right now. They can look for grants and also investors. This is something that I've talked to with my client, and she's actively looking into that and finding investors in order to get them to raise that money. And another option is also to collaborate with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. They're actually the leading contributors to the research and development of cystic fibrosis medication. So collaborating with them will significantly reduce the amount of cost for Biolytx. Thank you so much. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so the question was, has TrueSky already done research on this? Yes, they have. So they recently went through a growth phase, building 16 new branches. And Gen Z, obviously being a federal credit union, you need to look forward, right? And the Gen Z market is only growing. And so therefore, really channeling into that is the best way to do it. And that is why Gen Z was chosen. And why the methods that we have chosen is specifically because we're focusing just on Gen Z, right? TrueSky has a lot of other different demographics that they serve, millennials and Gen X being the largest currently. So our focus has been just primarily Gen Z, while they have had a larger, more general focus up till now. We have time for one more question. Yes.
Yeah, so the question is there any real market barriers to be successful? There are a few. So parents being one of them. Parents might not want their children to learn everything that Operation Halo has to offer them, and so that's why they have the option of individual courses. And then the other obstacle might be the children and the young girls and even the 13 to 18-year-olds and the 18 to 24-year-olds. Some of them just might not believe that they need these resources as a preventative or as safety skills. And so it will be important through Operations Halo's marketing to basically tell them that that's what they need and that's what they should use to be successful and to navigate the dangers of life. But thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. We're the VC track. My name is Michael Papenfuss. I'm studying accounting and finance, and I'm a senior.
And I'm Santosh Vikramasinghe, studying MIS and MIT.
So the VC track works a lot differently. We do various projects, and I'll go into detail about our team. So we have 5 team members and 1 team lead. Abdulhamid is our team leader. And our teams normally take 2 projects at a time, so it's either 2 or 3 in a team that does the projects. And then we meet twice a week with Jeff and Cass to go over all our research, what we found out, and then they'll also guide us through the process before we hand off our investment memos. So what is the VC track? It's a good opportunity for OU students. So we look into early investment opportunities in Oklahoma and make recommendations for the VC companies. It's pretty fast-paced, probably 4 weeks per project, and we do 2 projects at a time. At the moment, we're doing 5, so we're each on our own project for the last stint. And I think we did roughly 9 total projects, if I'm not mistaken. So we look into various industries. We do biotech, healthcare technology, logistics, and hospitality. And then at the end, we finalize our investment memos and provide it to the companies, and then they base their decision off that sometimes.
So out of the 9 projects that we've done, I'd like to walk you all through 3 of the projects that we've done, starting off with Drone Response, which is a software company that's creating a software that will enable a bunch of drones to be semi-autonomously controlled via an application. And then next we have Eye in the Sky, which is a software as a service company that's created an application that can connect both private jet owners, operators, and people who are willing to buy deadlift seats on these flights. They're also using AI to make these connections happen. And moving on, we have finally the Orchid, which is a product, which is a plug-and-play device designed to address tension-related issues on an IV with no changes in nurses' daily practices. So what have we gained creating all these investment memos and conducting all this due diligence? We've gained a lot, but I'd like to emphasize 4 key things. Starting off, we've learned how to confidently conduct due diligence, specifically by looking at market sizing, the competition, the teams, and also the business models of these companies and ventures. We've also learned how to draft investment memos proficiently in order to compile all these findings that we find when we conduct our due diligence. Not only that, we've also polished our executive skills because we need to verbally communicate all these findings that we find from these due diligence. And finally, we've also got some exposure in investment committees where we sit in with the venture capital general partners and decide on whether they should invest thousands of dollars in these ventures. So I hope you guys are all inclined to check out the VC track with the I-CCEW in your coming semesters. Unfortunately for y'all, we will not be taking any questions. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the presentations. Thank you and have a great day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Cotelier.
And my name is Basir Khan.
And we have had the incredible honor of being this semester's SOBA team leads. The Software Business Accelerator team, or SOBA, partners an interdisciplinary consulting team with a group of software developers to create an application or software and build a business around it. Now, this semester, SOBA looked a little different than it has previously, as instead of just having one business team lead, we had an incredible team made up of the fellows, myself, Ashlyn, and Peyton, as well as the wonderful Cassandra Rigsby, who helped lead the team to success.
This semester, we partnered with Vertex Media, or VVM, an Oklahoma-based startup looking to revolutionize media generation using artificial intelligence. Our clients, Dr. Sridhar Radhakrishnan and Creighton Cornelison, have been amazing mentors throughout this project for us, and we'd like to thank them.
Working with I-CCEW this semester as business team lead and fellow has been an incredible honor. Now, before you meet the team in a second, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to them. To start off with, Najib never strays away from a challenge and brings an admirable amount of passion to his work. He refused to be beaten by even the most challenging components of the project, and his commitment to his work carried our team far. Lexi provided our team with quiet and level-headed leadership. Though not the chattiest member of our team, her smile and brilliant insights helped the team over many hurdles. She's a natural leader. Cal was our jack of all trades. Throughout the semester, I think he worked on or influenced almost every single work stream we had, bringing immeasurable value to the team. He also provided much-needed comedic relief at a few points. And last, but certainly not least, Martine's commitment and attention to detail made this whole thing possible. He was frequently the first person at the meeting and the last person to leave, and he was always willing to put in extra work if that's what the team needed.
I've had the privilege of leading 4 amazing software development interns this semester, starting off with Axel and Ananya, our in-house AI researchers who are doing amazing research in the School of Computer Science. Additionally, they are professional yappers. They constantly bring innovative discussions to our team meetings and ensure that no meeting goes quiet. On the other hand, we have Paul and Rajiv, our silent warriors. These two have amazing technical experience and software development experience. They have done an amazing job to make sure that this team builds out an amazing product for VVM. So with that, we'd like to hand it over to the Fall 2024 SOBA team.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us here today. My name is Cal Smith, and I'm studying finance here at the University of Oklahoma.
My name's Alexi Chituka, and I'm studying economics.
My name is Martin Bruno. I'm studying economics at MIS.
My name is Najib Saleh, and I'm an MIS major.
My name is Paul Gary, and I'm a computer science major.
I'm Rajiv Kumar. I'm studying MIS. I am Ananya Pratap Gupta, and I'm computer science major.
And I'm Aksel Jansdor, and I'm studying computer science as well.
Have any of you in the audience ever attempted to read a research paper, but found it too lengthy, complex, or even confusing to gain the valuable insights you'd hope to? Well, this semester, we've partnered with Vertex Media as they enter the research publishing market and bring strategic solutions to these audience restrictions. As this semester comes to a close, we have completed over 260 hours of research and 20 interviews with media production professionals, researchers across various fields, and AI experts in order to better understand this technology and its applications. Today, we're excited to share with you insights into a $19 billion target market, introduce a highly customizable and fully autonomous video production pipeline that can generate a video in just 5 minutes, and prove financial viability as we display how VVM can be expected to generate $7.3 million in profit through year 5. To begin, Vertex Media will enter the research publishing market, where success is measured in impact factor for researchers and publishers alike. So before we began this project, Vertex Media could already create 15-minute audio-only podcasts out of full research papers. The mission of these podcasts and of VVM as a whole is to elevate the insights of research through translating them from papers into more dynamic and engaging forms of content. As we look into the research publishing market, it's important to understand the industry term impact factor, which is literally a citation rate, a measure of citations through a period of time. A higher impact factor lends increased credibility to researchers, allowing them a higher chance of getting funded for further research and being published again. Additionally, it adds prestige to a research publisher, allowing them to attract more researchers in the future. VVM will add value to the impact factor by increasing shareability of research, as videos are 1,200% more shareable than other forms of content. Additionally, these autonomous abstracts will increase research efficiency, as researchers will only have to spend several minutes to promote their work, instead of the several weeks to several months it would take to create their own video abstract. When these two factors combine, VVM will increase the alternative metrics, which are a gauge of online engagement that are proven to increase impact factor. But now it's important to understand this market more as a whole.
Generative AI videos simplify complex research, making it more accessible and helping researchers boost their impact factor. As highlighted in this slide, dense complex research often has limited engagement and valuable findings can often go unnoticed. In fact, an article published by Sage estimates that over 70% of graduate students find research papers somewhat difficult to read. VVM's solution to this is to use generative AI videos to promote these research papers, increase their visibility, increasing citation rates by 23%, and giving an advantage to the researchers themselves. Transitioning into our target market, we're going to look at the big 5 who we're going to mention as Elsevier, Springer Nature, Taylor & Francis, MDPIAG, and Wiley, alongside Oxford and Cambridge University presses, are our primary target market due to their financial stability and their market dominance. Our total market will look at over 156,000 academic publishers, and that's valued to be $19 billion US. Then we look at our target market, which consists of the big 5 and our 2 university presses, with a revenue opportunity of over $319 million US. Finally, we'll look at our attainable market, which will consist of 20% of the target market over the 5 years, with a rate of $4.4 million US in revenue each year at a price of 10.95 cents. As Sarah Robbins, who's a senior director at OU Library, stated, there's a desire to improve access to research while keeping costs manageable. This aligns with VVM's mission to increase accessibility. Dr. Benjamin Keane, who is a PhD professor in the economics department, stated that converting academic papers into short shareable videos feels like the next natural step in order to increase impact, citations, and overall reach. These insights underscore the growing demand for innovation in academic publishing and position VVM to be the ideal company to drive that transformation.
Vertex Media should deliver an all-in-one solution that accurately summarizes content and creates 60 to 90-second videos for publishers to distribute. When we look at the competitive landscape, we will see a combination of AI products like Synthesia and more traditional publishing services like Wiley's that help researchers in creating videos that will boost their impact factor and their citation rate. However, none of the current options in the market will offer an all-in-one solution quite like Vertex Media's. Firstly, the more traditional publishing route will meet most of the researchers' expectations when it comes to creating a video. However, it will come with a high price tag, and it can take up to a week to create a 1-minute video. On the other hand, current AI technology from Synthesia, for example, will create the same video within minutes and for a portion of the price. But it will require the researcher to manually come in and check different aspects of the script generation and the video generation. By understanding these pains in the market, Vertex Media can provide a comprehensive solution that will help researchers boost their impact factor and benefits both publishers and researchers alike. Now, let's take a look at how this video would look like.
In order to create this all-in-one solution, Vertex Media is seeking to capitalize on generative AI and give an innovative endpoint to which these videos can be generated. Now we're going to see a demo from this product.
Hi, welcome to Vast Vertex Podcast. My name is Alex, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hi, my name is Ali. Welcome to our discussion on the intriguing topic of bounded rationality, ambiguity, and the engineering of choice, as explored by James G. March in his seminal paper. March delves into how human decision-making is influenced by the limitations of rationality and the complexities of preferences.
The central theme of March's work is that rational choice involves two types.
This application gives platform-agnostic videos which can seamlessly be integrated into the research publisher's existing platforms. And we have a sample of what can be done with these videos on the slide.
This slide introduces the technical flow behind the VVM video generation process. So starting from the user input, the process begins with selecting a template, which has options like avatar selection or theme selection, such as medical or technology. This will enable that the final video would align with the subject matter. Once the research paper is uploaded, the system processes it through OpenAI for two critical tasks. One is script generation, and the second one is background image generation. These components form the foundation for the final content video. Moving forward, these assets are enters into the template customization phase. This step ensures that all the generated assets till now and other inputs align with the selected template or other thematic requirements. The final assembly happens through Synthesia, which produces the complete video. Additionally, we have a database layer to store all the generated assets, videos, and images, and which can be accessed or processed through DevTool Gallery.
So VVM gains a competitive advantage by using ChatGPT's large language model, DALL-E, and along with Synthesia to create these videos. We start by giving PDF formats of research papers. The OpenAI's large language model extracts all the complex ideas and creates detailed video descriptions as well as voiceover scripts. Once these voiceover scripts and the image descriptions are generated, these lead DALL-E to create custom images. The images that you just saw were all created by DALL-E. Next. So VVM should use additional LLM model to make sure that everything is has perfect quality and it's accurate. So how we do it is once all the content is generated, we send it through a different LLM. It will compare all this generated content with the research paper, and it will assign a score. If the score passes, it will go into Synthesia for the video creation. If it fails, we have a quality assurance team which will take care of what went wrong, and it will improve the future production.
Now let's have a look at our development tool. The development tool where the AI pipeline visually comes to life. It is especially a crucial tool because not only it lowers down the technical barrier for entry for the video creation process, but it also creates a seamless transition between the AI agents in the background. This is especially important for the VVM's quality assurance technicians that they might employ, as with just a few simple clicks, you can upload your research paper's PDF, select from a wide range of avatars and templates available, and generate the video that you want with just some simple clicks. After a few minutes, the video that you generated will populate in the gallery section available also in the dev tool if it's needed to check for the quality and the accuracy of the video for the fixes. Overall, the development tool offers a seamless, streamlined interaction that's customizable with the AI agents in the background, as well as holding the potential to be served as a mass audience-facing product in the future.
For the business to become profitable, Vertex Media should target the largest publishers in the industry in order to maximize revenues and add value to the publisher-researcher relationship. Based on VVM's current cost structures, which includes API and quality assurance cost, as explained by the developer team, Vertex Media will be able to provide an accurate video for a competitive price of $10.95 each in this business-to-business relationship with the publishers. The publishers will be able to make an extra profit of $515 per video by putting these videos on their website and offering these services to the researchers. Now, researchers will benefit from 23% more citations by the use of these videos, thanks to the shareability of these videos through social media. Then, a survey conducted by the business team found that 77% of end readers will benefit from improved understanding by using these videos as the entry port to the researchers' papers. Now, let's have a look at the financial projections for Vast Vertex Media.
So, looking at the 5-year financial projections for Vast Vertex Media, we start by year 1, where Vast Vertex Media is projected to produce around 80,000 videos, and from there, they will maintain a 50% growth rate annually in video production over the 5 years. That trajectory will lead them to produce around 400,000 videos approximately by year 5. Our business model or our financial model indicates that Vast Vertex Media will break even in year 1, meaning that their initial investment will be recovered right from the start. From there, the increase in both production and revenue will be significant. So significant that by year 5, Vast Vertex Media should observe an estimated $7.3 million in profit cumulatively. Now, this bar graph here illustrates that visually, with the blue bars representing the total cost, while the teal bars representing the revenue. You can see here that as time progresses, the gap between the bars widens, indicating increasing profitability as Vast Vertex Media increases and scales up their operation. This information here illustrates how Vast Vertex Media can establish themselves as a strong, scalable, and sustainable business. Now, we'll look at the next steps for Vast Vertex Media.
So what is in the horizon for a successful future for Vast Vertex Media? From the technical side of things, they should improve their QA capabilities as well as perfecting their templates and avatar selections for a better end product. In the longer run, we recommend them to also build an in-house AI solution, as this will cut down the ties with other dependencies on other companies, as well as providing a more niche product for their own needs, as well as making a white label app for reaching for a wider audience of publishers available.
Now, from the business side, to ensure sustainable growth, Vast Vertex Media should focus on 2 things: business development and client acquisition. And that will be done over quarters of the year. For business development, they should focus on initially hiring IT and admin staff, followed by hiring Q&A technicians, and finally filing for a full patent by the end of the year. For client acquisition, Vast Vertex Media should initiate discussions with the big 5 publishers, as well as Oxford and Cambridge universities, by the second quarter of the year. And finally, in the 4th quarter of the year, Vast Vertex Media should begin delivering client projects. This is a well-balanced approach that will ensure that Vast Vertex Media can focus on both internal capability building as well as external market engagement. And this, we believe, will set them apart and pave the way for them for long-term success. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening, and now the floor is open for questions. Go ahead.
So you guys are talking about filing a patent. So for a software solution, wouldn't that make all that proprietary technology public? And is that something that would be beneficial for Vast Vertex Media in the long run?
So your question is if filing a patent will make the technology available publicly, and if that is going to affect Vast Vertex Media in the long run. So right now, Vast Vertex Media has a provisional patent that protects their intellectual property for 2 years. So they can operate legally, and nobody can touch that intellectual property for those 2 years. And that's why we initiate here, or we include here for them to apply for a permanent patent that will protect their intellectual property for at least 20 years coming up, and that will secure this intellectual property from being publicly accessible to others, if that answers your questions. Go ahead.
Thank you for your question. So your question was, is Vast Vertex Media planning on making a built-in in-house AI solution for for future, for quality assurance purposes, as well as maybe a more accurate product? Great question. Absolutely. The answer is yes. As we saw in the next steps available, we see that as the best solution available for vast Vertex Media. As like you said, right now some LLMs have some users might have some concerns about hallucination, as well as maybe accuracy, or maybe the LLMs available are not as specific for the needs of a research paper, as they also include stuff like tables and graph that you have to parse through from PDF. So definitely 100% yes, that's what we recommend for Vertex Media, and that's probably what they're going to do in the future as well. But this is, I think, a great way to prove a concept of what might be possible by using AI and less language models and yeah, NLPs and all of that. So yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
So your question is how we are selecting all the templates and how we are focusing on generating one type of field, like content for one type of field. Is that the question? Yeah, excellent. So that's a wonderful question. Thank you for that. So how we are seeing this as like, right now we have implemented the tonal and voice, like how it will speak. So for example, if something is happening, like it is talking about something bad, it will have kind of like empathy and like sympathy in the voice. Coming to the actual content generation, once we have the in-house solution, we will tune it for specific topics like biology, physics, and all those things. Right now, what we are focusing on with our templates is the image generation. So basically, the physics, it will have more of like physics kind of backgrounds. For biology, it will make sure that it's related to that paper. And also, it depends on kind of journal, because this solution is for the journals and the publishers. So they will have this specific model for their specific journals, and each journal has focus on each individual topic. So there will be a journal for computer science, for biology, and this will be tuned already for those specific journals. Does that answer your question?
We have one more question from the audience. That's all the time we've got, so go ahead, Jay.
So I noticed that while you're setting up your business model, you talked about mostly working with publishers. Can you speak about why you guys don't plan to have these videos available to be purchased directly by individual readers?
Thank you for your question. So the question was why we are focusing specifically on publishers and not necessarily making it available for specific readers. The answer to that is that the researchers work directly with the publishers, and this would allow publishers to have full control over how the videos are going to look like. This is also the best way for vast Vertex Media to tap into the largest market possible. The business model is set in this way because it will be a whole different approach to create a friendly user platform to make it specifically for the researchers in particular. This allows more control for the publishers to have all the videos to look the same. That way, it's very clear once you look at a video that, oh, this is coming from this specific journal, and it's talking about this specific topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wesley Bruce, and I've had the pleasure of leading the social entrepreneurship team this semester. The social entrepreneurship team, or SOCIENT, gives a team of associate consulting interns the opportunity to work with a startup focused on helping out the community. This semester, we've had the honor of working with Taryn DeWitt, who founded Tullahoma to bring safe, healthy, local food to Oklahomans. When I was asked to be a business team lead, I did not understand how truly rewarding of an experience that it would be. Throughout this semester, I've had the opportunity to work with 3 outstanding individuals who I am proud to call not just colleagues, but friends. We worked together, brainstormed solutions, solved problems, and even solved 24 Wordles throughout the semester without failing one time. You'll meet my team in a moment while they showcase all their hard work over the course of the semester, but first I would like to thank Caitlin Caudelier, the fellow on our project, for all of her help this semester. Now I'll offer a brief introduction to each of my team members. Carissa was an excellent solution strategist, as she worked on many different work streams. She analyzed various aspects of the market, competitors, and more. Despite all this moving around, she always landed exactly in the right spot to provide meaningful recommendations for the team. Matthew was our finance guy throughout the semester, making sure we kept profitability top of mind as we wove our ideas into solutions for Tullahoma. Kendall always made sure to see the big picture throughout this semester. Through interviews with restaurants, analyzing survey responses, and extensive research, she always kept us on track to meet the goals of our client. It has truly been my pleasure to work with these outstanding interns. Now, please welcome my team, the Social Entrepreneurship Team. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are your Social Entrepreneurship Team this semester. Oklahoma has over 33 million acres of farmland, a $7 billion livestock industry, and over $1.6 billion of crops annually. Yet, Oklahoma ranks last in consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. This semester, we have had the pleasure of working with Tullahoma's founder, Taryn DeWitt. Taryn is an expert in her field of supply chain management and has connections deep within Oklahoma's agricultural industry. We have conducted over 20 interviews, collected over 70 survey responses, and analyzed various aspects of the market to truly understand the business environment that Tullahoma is entering. Our research found that Tullahoma is entering a $115 million market, and that restaurants can make an additional profit of $75,000 a year, and farms can see a 100 to 300% increase in profit by switching from large cash crops to local food. I'm Kendall Cousins.
I'm Carissa Colomb.
I'm Matthew Anderson.
And I'll now pass it on to Carissa to talk about the local food market.
Sourcing food local has become a growing trend for both its economic and health benefits across the United States. Despite Oklahoma ranking last in fresh food consumption and having higher rates than the national average for food-related diseases, Oklahoma has seen a 1,860% growth rate for its totaled sales. If we take a look at the chart here, we can see at the top, the line in blue is the U.S. local food sales in billions, and at the bottom in red is Oklahoma local food sales in millions. In 2017, Oklahoma totaled $5.3 million in sales, and in 2022, that number skyrocketed to $103.9 million. Tullahoma can leverage this to continue the trend going upward and continue to source local food to Oklahomans. Not only is local food healthier, but it is also safer and more nutrient dense. In 2009, the Food Marketing Institute conducted a survey asking Americans why local food. 82% responded with the freshness. The other 2 responses that followed closely behind were supporting the local economy and just overall knowing where their food was coming from. For every $1 million generated in local farm sales, 32 jobs are created. Tullahoma will ensure the convenience, availability, and profitability of sourcing food locally. After conducting interviews, gathering survey responses, and overall just analyzing the data and research of our market, we have seen the following problems that keep reoccurring. The first problem is restaurants and schools find it inconvenient to order local food. Our solution is Tullahoma. These restaurants and schools can go directly through Taryn to place their orders and to source local food for their institutions, and Taryn will do the rest for them. This transition will make it super easy from farm to institution. The second problem is the local farms do not grow local produce because of the lack of the USDA certification, which is really important because throughout conducting our interviews, we found that after talking to school districts such as Santa Fe Schools, they said that in order for them to source locally, they need the farms to have that USDA certification. Our solution, Tullahoma, currently partners with 34 farms and is continuing to expand their network of farms to help them obtain that USDA certification through the USDA grant, funded by the Oklahoma government. Our last problem is restaurants and schools do not see the value in sourcing food locally. Our solution, Tullahoma, is going to emphasize in their pitch to restaurants that they can obtain an additional $75,000 when sourcing food locally, and for schools, they are able to utilize the LFS, which is the Local Food for Schools grant, to receive full reimbursements of $5,000 to $25,000.
Tullahoma is in the unique position where they have to analyze both the supply side of the market and the demand side. I'll start with demand. Tullahoma should pursue urban, non-chain restaurants and town and suburban schools as their primary target market. Our team conducted a survey to see how Oklahomans felt about local food. We found that our most enthusiastic responses came from young users and high-income users. The highest concentration of these young and high-income users are in urban areas and urban surrounding areas. Additionally, those in urban areas are most likely to eat out, therefore urban restaurants. We also conducted an interview with Hal Smith Restaurant Group, and we discovered that chain restaurants, either national or regional, are unlikely to source local because of the logistics. So therefore, urban and non-chain restaurants. This is a $114.3 million market. For town and suburban schools, an email correspondence we had with the OKC district showed that urban schools are unlikely to source local because they do not have the capacity, either in time or in funding. We eliminated rural schools from the market because they are logistically too far away and would cost Tullahoma more than they would gain from that market. That is a $1.28 million market of town and suburban schools.
Going on to the supply side of the market, there's a $1.6 billion market for crops in Oklahoma, with only $64 million of this being local produce. Of that, only $10 million of this is USDA or organic local food. Tullahoma can help more farms achieve these USDA certifications to ensure that institutions can source through these local farms and ensure the quality of this food. Hydroponic farm expansion is another aspect that could lead to avoiding seasonality issues that come from local produce. In an interview with Better Day Farms, we've been able to determine that hydroponic farms are expanding constantly within Oklahoma, which avoids the seasonality issues that come with this. Another market that we could target would be the beef market, as only 5% of cows are grass-fed and grass-finished. Many cows will be labeled as grass-fed, even though in the last third of their life, they're actually grain-fed. So targeting this market is a $288 million valuation is another alternative for Tullahoma. The last alternative target market for Tullahoma is the dairy market, as this market's virtually untapped in the Oklahoma and local economy, and this is $367 million.
Tullahoma's local food, diverse segmentation, and reliable supply chain management contribute to its competitive advantage. When looking at competitors within the state of Oklahoma against Tullahoma, we found two that have similar missions, values, and goals to Tullahoma. These are the ODAFF and the Oklahoma Food Cooperative. They, however, lack the reliable supply chain that Tullahoma has with their logistical partner, Frontier. Both the ODAFF and Oklahoma Food Co-op have a volunteer base, so that causes a lot of delays and even cancellations. The next competitor that we looked into was Benny Keith's. After conducting an interview with Benny Keith's produce manager, we found that upon request for their loyal and high-spending customers, they do source locally, but this is a timely process. The last two competitors that we looked into are known nationwide, such as US Foods and Cisco. However, they do not source local.
Tullahoma will add value to restaurants and schools through increased profit margins as well as grant accessibility. So the average price per plate at a restaurant would increase 7% when sourcing 20% local. This is an increase from the average price per plate of $40 all the way up to $42.80. Restaurants and schools will also gain an enhanced brand image, as end users will be more satisfied with eating local produce, as this is more nutritious as well as supporting the local Oklahoman economy. Giving back to these local farmers is a main topic that many end users would like to support. Schools will also benefit from this, as many parents will be happier with them eating more local food and knowing where their food comes from. There's also an educational benefit with this, as more students are able to learn about where their food comes from and how it's important to support the local farmers. Lastly, grants allow schools to have cheaper, equal-priced options, and this incentivizes schools to source through Tullahoma, as this is just a better alternative. Looking at this chart, we can see the increased profit for the average restaurant Tullahoma would be working with is around $1,580. Moving on to the average increased profit per month, this would be around $6,320, with the per year totals averaging out to $75,840.
Tullahoma acts as a fourth-party logistics provider and consultant for farms and institutions wanting to source local. Tullahoma's business model starts with Tullahoma. They will go to these institutions and give the pitch on why local food, covering things like Matthew talked about, such as educational opportunities and marketing opportunities for restaurants. They will also use word of mouth, as the agricultural industry in Oklahoma is very tight-knit, and word of mouth is often the most effective way to get something spread. So once these institutions decide to source local food, they will send money to Tullahoma for this food. Tullahoma will keep a cut from the restaurants so they can be self-sustaining, and send the rest to the farmers so that they can source this local food. They also offer the USDA certifications, like Carissa was talking about, and increased profit of 100 to 300% per year. The farms will then have this local food, raise it, grow it, whatever it is, and then they will send it to Frontier, which is Tullahoma's logistical partner, to send it to the institutions, and then it will end up with the end users.
Moving on to the financial model, Tullahoma will be able to achieve a cumulative profit of over $958,000 over the next 5 years when utilizing grants. So in the first year, Tullahoma is profitable with using grants, as they receive around $145,000 in annual grant revenue, and this is discounted per year at a 10% drop-off rate, just to ensure a smooth transition from grant revenue and to their main focus of revenue, which is restaurant growth. In the second year, whenever Tullahoma is not utilizing grants, they would receive a profit of mere $7,000, so utilizing grants is very important to give them this head start. Tullahoma will still focus on school revenue as well, but this is not the biggest revenue driver for them, as this mainly aligns with Tullahoma's values of serving local food to institutions within Oklahoma. Tullahoma was able to receive a revenue of over $3.5 million in its 5th year, ensuring profitability for the next 5 years and giving them the next steps to be able to grow financially.
Tullahoma should seek to increase funding from schools and restaurants and decrease reliance on grants in the coming years. The very first thing Tullahoma should do is file as an LLC for trademark and copyright purposes on their logo, and also to keep Terran's legal liability at the lowest possible. They should also continue to apply for grants in year 1 and grow their restaurant network by 12 in year 1. Following this, they should leverage the LFS grant coming out. LFS is Local Food for Schools by the USDA. It is $1.7 billion dedicated to just bringing local food to schools. They should decrease other grants by 10% starting in year 2, and should also start to grow the restaurant network by 24 restaurants each year after year 1. Thank you so much for listening. We have really enjoyed analyzing Oklahoma's agricultural market and seeing how food really connects people. We would now like to open the floor for questions. Yes.
So with the market capture, it seems that the potential for the restaurant industry had a lot more than just schools. So why are you guys focusing on schools at all?
Yeah, so your question was, why is Tullahoma focusing mainly on schools and restaurants as opposed to just restaurants, as that's the biggest revenue driver? So Tullahoma's values align with giving local food to all institutions within Oklahoma, and doing this by any means. So this includes giving back to schools. Although they may not be the biggest revenue driver, it really is important for Tullahoma's values to do so. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, your question is on how Tullahoma is able to avoid seasonality issues that may come from sourcing local. So there are several alternatives, as mentioned earlier, as for Tullahoma to avoid these issues, one of which includes hydroponic farms. Hydroponic farms are indoor farms that can avoid any seasonality issue due to local production not being cyclical. So another alternative could be the dairy and the beef sector as well, as long as also adding different seasonal options to menus, such as a Starbucks menu having pumpkin spice latte, for example. These are seasonal items that could be sourced local and could offer Tullahoma to have more institutions to source from.
Yes.
It seems a lot like the financial projections depend a lot on like the grants Tullahoma can receive. So how do you guys would make sure that there is always a grant running for your business? Does that make sense?
Yes, so the question is, since Tullahoma is so reliant on grants, how are we going to ensure that grants keep going? The honest answer is there is no way to ensure these grants are coming. However, there is that $1.7 billion USDA grant, and that will take time to run out. So that's one way we can rely on it. Also, our restaurant revenue is going to be the pure thing that is keeping Tullahoma self-sustaining. So the grants are mainly to source to the schools and also the USDA certifications. Over time, naturally, the USDA certification need is going to decrease as we get more farms USDA certified. So the need for grants eventually will be eliminated entirely with the exception of schools. Oh, one more question. Yes.
So, I'm assuming from the name that Tullahoma is based out of Tulsa. Is there going to be a focus on starting with Tulsa schools and restaurants, or are they really trying to start off focusing statewide?
So the question is Tullahoma going to be like staying within the state? Oh, okay. Okay, so no, she's actually targeting like all of Oklahoma. She has a bunch of connections with farms in all Oklahoma and connections with schools and restaurants also. So it is not just mainly in Tulsa.
Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
Okay, let's give it up one more time for our amazing interns. They did an incredible job. It has been truly an honor watching you all grow throughout the semester and dedicate all of your time and energy to these projects. And it was wonderful to hear the accumulation of all of that hard work today. So you should all feel very proud. We like to wrap up each semester's final presentations by acknowledging our incoming set of interns. So we have 25 incoming interns next semester, representing seven different colleges across all 3 of OU's campuses. A handful of them are here today, so I'm going to announce their names quickly. If you could just give a little wave, and audience, hold your applause until the end, please. We have Hunter Mina, Ali Crace, Chanel Karunji, Tyler Vuong, Mohammed Abdelnabi, Hunter Merrill, Deepak Jha, Nadeem Akbar, Tanaka Mutimhi, Vanessa Sordik Dodig, and Farzana Tasneem. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, leading these incredible interns will be our incoming team leaders. So this is interns that have already gone through at least one of our programs before and have been asked to come back and serve as a team leader. So leading one of our consulting teams, but not here today, is Tadiwa Magwadi. Let's give him a round of applause. We also have Baylor Savage. Serving as our product design team leader and junior fellow is Peter Impreco. And leading our Oklahoma City team is Madison Milan. So if you are able to join us back here at the end of April, you'll be able to see these incoming interns present and their team leaders as well. We are hosting a reception in the cafe, so please stick around, ask interns more questions, and enjoy some snacks. And thank you so much for coming.